I am 26. Think my girlfriend, F27, cheated on me during a trip, but I can't prove it. It's killing me. My girlfriend and I have been together for almost 3 years. Our relationship has always seemed strong. We care for each other, respect personal boundaries, and I've never noticed any signs of cheating on her before. I would never have thought I would be in a situation where I would have to question her fidelity. But the events that happened last week are making me lose sleep, my appetite, and my confidence that I understand anything about people at all. Last week, she went to a friend's wedding in another state. The trip had been planned a long time ago, and I knew I couldn't join because of work. She went there with one of her friends on Friday morning, and as soon as they got to the hotel, she texted me to let me know they had arrived safely. That was around 9 p.m. At that point, I was still on a shift that ended around midnight, so I didn't respond right away. At about 1:30 a.m., I finally got free and texted her, "Talk to you in the morning. Love you." There was no reply, but I figured she was probably already asleep after the long drive. And that's where the weird stuff starts to happen. I don't know why, but I got a strong urge to check her location through my phone. We enabled this feature a long time ago, on her own initiative, to always know where to look for each other in case of anything. But when I opened the app, it turned out that her location wasn't available. Her phone hadn't transmitted any data for the last 6 hours. Just in case, I checked her car tracker. It's a feature we were shown at the car dealership when she bought her car. We both have access through the app, and I had only opened it once before. To my surprise, the car wasn't parked at the hotel, but at some house 12 minutes away. I was immediately alerted to this. I tried to call her, but the call immediately went to voicemail. Then I called her friend who was with her, but she didn't answer either. I started to think that maybe something had happened. Maybe her car had been stolen. After a while, I got a text from her friend saying, "She's already back at the hotel. Just borrowed the car to stop by one of her friends." That calmed me down a bit. At least she was okay. The next day, my girlfriend texted me around noon. It was weird because she's usually up early, even when she goes somewhere without me. She always finds time to text me, but here it was silence until mid-afternoon. We talked on the phone, and I asked what happened to the car. She said the car had been parked outside the hotel all night. That didn't agree with what her friend had said, but I didn't say anything to her. When I checked the tracker again, it turned out that the car had left that very house just 15 minutes before she called me. Then she suddenly changed her story, said she'd fallen asleep in her room, and her friend had taken the car without permission. Coincidence? Or did her friend warn her that she told me? Another oddity. On her credit card statement, I saw that she made a purchase at CVS around 3 a.m. for $67. I don't know what you can buy with that amount of money at a drugstore at night. It just doesn't give me any peace of mind. Since she's been back, I haven't noticed any changes in her. She's acting the same as always. But me? I can hardly look her in the eye. Every time she smiles or hugs me, I can't stop thinking about what she's hiding. I can't blame her until I'm completely sure. But what to do? How do I find out the truth without destroying our relationship if it suddenly turns out I'm wrong? I need help. I'm hoping this is all just me being paranoid. I love her, and I don't want it to be true. But if it turns out she cheated, I have to leave.
A comment below the Reddit post.
Dude, either she's a genius spy here, or you found yourself a member of the Olympic lying team. Seriously, what is this space in the house where her phone suddenly loses signal? And what's such a vital $67 purchase at CVS at 3 a.m.? Sounds suspiciously like how to hide cheating for one-night quest. I don't want to put a spin on it, but if she keeps lying even in front of the facts, that's a red flag. You've already put 3 years into this relationship, but sometimes it's important to realize if it's worth continuing. Sit down, think about it, talk to her again, but be prepared to hear the truth, no matter how unpleasant it may be. And by the way, the friend who's covering for her looks like she knows more than she's letting on to. If you're going to interrogate her, start with her. Good luck, man. Hang in there.
Update. Thank you all for your comments and support. Here's what has happened since I published this post. I decided I couldn't hold it all in anymore and talked to her. I gave her all the facts. The car at someone else's house, the late-night shopping at CVS, the disconnected location. At first, she tried to deny everything and said I was crazy with jealousy. But when I mentioned the car tracker and that I was talking to her friend, she went silent. Then she cried and admitted that she had indeed driven there. She said she just needed space and was talking to some of her old friends. When I asked about CVS, she said she ran in to get stuff for the room, but none of that explains why she was lying. Honestly, I don't know what to do. It doesn't seem like the truth, but I have no direct evidence of cheating. Now I'm taking a break.
The following story from a Reddit user.
I am 28. Found out that my girlfriend, F28, cheated on me, had affairs with 2 guys, and had an abortion. Now she wants to talk, but I'm not sure I'm ready to hear it. My girlfriend and I have been together for 10 years. Our relationship started back in high school. We grew up together, became adults, and I truly believe she was my one and only. She was a huge part of my life, and honestly, I couldn't imagine my future without her. I loved her with all my heart, trusted her completely. But recently, all of that came crashing down. My life that I thought was stable turned out to be built on lies. I found out she'd cheated on me. More than once. She had affairs with 2 different men at the same time. And they weren't casual mistakes. She had long-term physical relationships with them. I found out that she even got pregnant by one of them and secretly had an abortion. That feeling, finding out that everything you believe turned out to be a lie, is impossible to describe in words. It's like being robbed of all the ground beneath your feet. The worst part is that all this was happening while I trusted her completely. She was taking money from me to continue this relationship. I just tear up inside when I think about it. I feel betrayed, humiliated, and broken. Ever since I found out the truth, I can't talk to her or look her in the eye. I have distanced myself from her and try to avoid her. I don't know how to deal with all of this. It hurts to even think about it, let alone talk about it all. She has tried to talk to me, and she seems genuinely remorseful, but I just can't. I can't imagine hearing her words that will probably make things worse. I'm at rock bottom now. I feel completely destroyed. I don't sleep, I don't eat, I can't focus on work. It feels like my whole life has been a fake. I've even started to think that maybe my life isn't worth anything anymore. I don't know what to do. Should I listen to her? Or should I just walk away from this situation forever without giving her a chance to explain? How do I recover from this? Honestly, I've lost my bearings.
Best comment under the post.
You made an incredibly difficult but right decision. Love is not only feelings, but also respect, trust, and the actions that validate them. Leaving someone who betrayed you, especially after so many years, is an act of self-respect. The most important thing now is to focus on your own recovery. You deserve to be with someone who will truly appreciate you.
Update. Thank you all for the words of support. I honestly didn't expect to get so much feedback. It was important for me to know that I am not alone in my struggle and that my feelings are justified. After posting, I realized that I could no longer continue to live in this state of uncertainty. I decided to talk to her, even though it seemed impossible. I gathered all my strength to finally hear her truth. We met at home. She started crying as soon as I opened my mouth. She admitted that she had indeed cheated on me, first with one guy, then with a second. She said she was confused and that it didn't mean anything to her. She claimed that the abortion had made her even more depressed and that she couldn't find a way to tell me. But what shocked me most was her attempt to justify her actions. She said that she felt emotionally abandoned, that our relationship had become monotonous, and that she was just looking for something new. This hit me harder than the cheating itself. I had always tried to be a support to her, to make her life easier, to take care of her. Hearing her justify her actions with that was like a knife to the heart. When I asked why she kept taking money from me, knowing she was using it for her affairs, she just cried even harder. I didn't think it was a big deal, she said. That was the last straw. I realize now that I can't and don't want to stay in this relationship. I feel devastated, but I don't want to live a lie anymore. I told her that we needed to break up. She begged me to give her a second chance, saying she would see a therapist, that she would fix everything. But it's too late for me. Now I'm thinking about how to rebuild myself. It's going to be a long road. But one thing I know for sure is that I deserve to be with someone who respects and appreciates me. Thank you to everyone who took the time to share advice and support me. It has given me the strength to make the right decision, even if it is an incredibly painful one.
Next third story.
My wife lied about a threesome at the beginning of our relationship. I don't know how to move forward. I am 32, have been married to my wife, F30, since August 2023. She and I were friends for 7 years before we started dating, and at the beginning of our relationship, we decided to try an open relationship. We were honest with each other and promised to always let each other know if anything happened. But what she recently confessed to me literally turned my world upside down. Here's how it went down. When we first started dating, I knew that she had already had experiences with other women, and I was okay with that since we both agreed that we would explore our boundaries openly and honestly. At one point, she informed me that she was going to spend the night with a woman, and I was totally okay with that because it was within our agreements. But lo and behold, 6 months into our marriage, she admitted that this night wasn't really just with a woman. It was a threesome with a woman and a man, and she kept it from me throughout this whole time. Honestly, the act itself isn't the problem for me. After all, it was early in our relationship, and we were both open to different experiences. The problem is that she lied to me. We agreed that we would always be honest, even if it was uncomfortable or challenging. I always stuck to that rule, and it pains me to realize that she didn't do the same. Now that I realize she kept it from me, I feel like I've lost trust. And maybe this is just the beginning. Questions start to pop into my head. Were there other things she was hiding? What else has she not told me in all this time? Everything is all jumbled up in my head. I love her, but I can't shake the feeling that she broke our ground rule. I don't know how to rebuild trust if it's already broken. I keep wondering if it's even possible to bring that honesty back into our relationship. I'm not asking for judgment. I just need to figure out how to move forward. Does anyone have a similar experience? How did you cope when the lies came to light years later? I just don't know if I can get over it, especially considering how long she hid the truth. It seems like the blow to trust is too great, but I also don't want to lose her.
Best comment.
Honestly, the situation is very complicated and painful. I realize that the main problem here is not the act itself, but the fact that she hid the truth. Lying, it always destroys trust, and it is not so easy to restore it. I think you need to realize what exactly is more important to you. Being able to forgive and move on despite the hidden mistakes, or rebuilding a relationship where full trust will be the foundation. I've personally been in a similar situation where the lies came to light after a while, and it shattered my confidence a lot. It's important that both partners are willing to work at it, but you also need to remember that forgiveness is a process and it may take time for you to feel like the relationship is built on honesty again.